and welcome to this 6th episode in 2021 here in Britt Arnild's world, or Britt Arnild's verden, the Norwegian word for world, verden, as the name of the channel is on YouTube. I am Britt Arnild. I am almost 63 years old. I live in Trondheim in the middle of Norway. I am retired and I am a knitter, an artist. I do a lot of different things. I love hiking, photographing, gardening, crochet, reading, well, you name it. This channel will be a lot about knitting, but also other things. The piano music you hear here is my mother, 91 almost years old mother, playing the piano. I'm recording her playing every month now, trying to record as much as possible. As some of you know, my mother had a bad fall in December and broke her elbow, but her arm is almost good again and she's playing again. She has had some health issues and has been to the hospital this past week, but is home again. And when I had lunch with my parents yesterday, she had a new piece of music ready for all of us, which you heard in the starting film here. This piece, I have to look in my notes. It's from a small sheet of music called From the Time of Schubert. And it's made by someone called Landler after a motive by Schubert. That's the only name I have of it. And in the end, when you come to the end of this episode, you will hear my mother playing Deilig er jorden is the Norwegian name of the song. I'm sorry, I don't know the composer. And not, I think you know it in the English-speaking world, but I don't have an English name of it. It's here in Norway. It's very well known as a Christmas carol. But for me and many others, both the music and the words can be played all year long. Actually, I find it as a kind of pilgrim carol, pilgrim hymn. So I love to use it with some of my nature filming. And again, it's my mother playing. I'm a Christian. I'm a Lutheran. And for Christians, the period of Lent has started now. Yesterday was Ash Wednesday, when you can go to church and have an ash cross painted in your forehead. Our churches are almost closed now, so I did not go to church yesterday, but I had my own little silent moment here at home. And this means that from today, or from yesterday actually, and all the way until the first day of Easter, it's the period of Lent. Many years ago, I'm sorry, I have to stretch here to find something. I have just recorded the Norwegian episode, and then I stored away some of the things I talked about, but then of course I need it again because I want to do this English episode. But as I was going to say, many years ago I wrote this book. It's in Norwegian and it's sold out from the publisher, and the name of it is 40 dager fra karneval til oppstandelse, which means 40 days from the carnival till the risen on the first day of Easter, of course. And it's a book about Norwegian and international, at least European, traditions on the period of Easter. And also, when I wrote this book, I developed a kind of calendar, which I called the Rainbow Calendar. The period of Lent has 7 weeks. The rainbow has 7 colors. So I gave each week of Lent its own color, starting with red and going all the way to purple. And for 2 years now, I have done knitting in the rainbow colors during the period of Lent. Well, I do knitting in the rainbow colors all year, but especially during these 7 weeks of Lent. Last year, where did I put it? Yes, here it is. Last year, I knitted these balls, 7 balls in the 7 colors of the rainbow, starting with red, of course, obviously in the first week. For me, they are praying balls or meditation balls. But they can be balls of love, balls of, as I said, meditation, or just decoration. Red for the first week, of course, then orange, and then it continues. My plan now, and I did it last year, I will have some branches up there on the shelf behind me, and then put up one of these balls every week. So when this silent week before the first day of Easter comes, I will have all 7 balls hanging in the branches, like a praying tree. I also lit candles, the red one this week, red and orange next week, and so on and so on and so on. And after I wrote this book, this tradition has developed here in Norway. So now many churches, most of the churches maybe, I don't know, but at least many churches, they have these rainbow candles and use them during the period of Lent. And we have an organization, a Christian humanitarian organization here in Norway called Norwegian Church Aid. You can find it as nca.no on internet, Norwegian Church Aid. They work together with ACT Alliance, which is an international organization. And they have developed or continued to develop this rainbow calendar with prayers and stories to go with every color. They don't have these praying balls, but they have the candles. So they have done a lot to develop this rainbow calendar, which I use during Advent. I have done several things the 2 past years with my knitting, rainbow knitting, during the rainbow weeks. And I have been thinking, what shall I do this year? So I have already started. First, last week, I found some yarn which a friend gave me. I have tried to wind it up, and I have started to use it, so it's not easy to see, but a friend gave this to me in the autumn. She has dyed it herself, and it's dyed in the rainbow colors, obviously. So I decided to use the yarn. It's so soft, it's thin, and I decided to use it for a pair of vanilla socks. I have made the first one. Isn't it beautiful? The colors are so delicate and blending so fantastic into each other. So I started inside this cake of yarn, knitting here, continued all the way down to the end of the toe, tip of the toe, and then continued with the next sock. And here, surprisingly, a lot of orange and yellow came. So, and here I'm back to purple. So this will be a pair of socks for Advent. I will probably finish them today or tomorrow. So that's the first thing I did. And then I thought I have a lot of leftover yarn, and for my rainbow knitting, I have a goal not to buy anything new, but try to use as much as possible from my collection. And that's extra special and good to do during Lent, I think, because I hope Lent to be a period of, well, putting less footprints on Mother Earth. Be careful, take care of what we have, sustainability, sustainable living. So I found some leftover yarns in the colors of, it's not easy to see here, but it's a lot of red and orange and purple inside this bag. And I started to crochet this grandmother square, some kind of grandmother square. I started with red, but putting in some orange, purple, yes, those three colors. Red with hints of purple and orange. I made 7 squares so far. You saw some of them, or you saw all of them in the starting film here. My plan when I started this was I was inspired from Attic24, which is a blog and Instagram account and company run by an English woman. So I was inspired by some kind of rainbow blanket she had crocheted. So my original plan was to make a rainbow blanket, but I see that these colors, red, orange, purple, whoops, they are blending so beautiful together, so warm, comfortable. So it's so beautiful. So I decided to just stick to these colors and make myself a kind of blanket or throw, you call it that as well, to use up in my studio, my atelier, when it's cold, to put over my feet and my knee. So I will continue during this period of Lent, and probably for a much longer period, to crochet these grandmother squares and make them into a blanket. Crochet, I love to crochet. I learned to crochet, I think maybe even before I learned knitting. My grandma Ragna was a queen of crochet. I still have many of the pieces she made, and she taught me. But I found it very hard for the where my thumb is fastened. I don't know what you call this. I get pains here. So I can maybe do 1 or 2 at the top 3 squares a day. But if I do 1 or 2 or 3 squares every day, of course the blanket will be growing. And in the end I will have a finished project. But then, since I will not make these into a rainbow blanket, I wanted another project for the 7 weeks of Lent. So I went back to a book which I have used before and which I have talked about before here on my YouTube channel. It's a book with paintings by the Austrian-Swedish painter and designer Joseph Frank. Here you can see the title. It's Joseph Frank, The Unknown Watercolors. I have used one of these watercolors last year or maybe 2 years ago to knit a very special pair of wrist warmers, which I have shown before and which I will show you again when Green Week comes, because they are almost completely green. So I decided to use Joseph Frank's paintings again as an inspiration. You saw me flipping through some of the book in the beginning here. So I found this colorful and very beautiful painting. And especially the fruits here I wanted to use in my knitting to knit a pair of wrist warmers. So I collected from my yarn collection these colors, and I tried to draw but in a, what do you say in English? Stylish? No, not stylish, but to make it more, I can't find the English name. But I tried to draw the fruits here. You see the red fruits with where very light dot in the middle, and the background, which here is green. In the painting it's brown in the bottom, and it's some green leaves from tulips or something up in the top. So what I have done is, well, let me show you the yarn first. For Christmas, I got a present from our son who lives in Stockholm. 3 different skeins of yarn from a Swedish shop, small shop, yarn shop in Stockholm. These beautiful colors, but it's no red here. So I had to add red since this is the Red Week of the rainbow calendar. So I have this red from Sannes yarn, Sannes garn. And I also found in my collection these 2 leftovers. This is for this light circle in the middle of the fruit, and this for the green leaves, which will be a green background for me. And I started to knit. So you see the brown background here. Maybe I should put it on. It's easier to see then. I have not done much yet. Next week, in next week's episode, it will be finished. So here it is so far. I have started with orange circles. I have now, well, the 2 first are orange. I have now started with the red, and I will change the background color, which is brown, up to here, and I will now continue with the green one. And I will have 1 row of red. I will have a couple of rows of purple, and then go back to red and knit it as long as I want it. And I will knit 2, of course, obviously, to have on both wrists. So that's my orange project. And then next week, that's my red project, I'm sorry. And then next week I will do something in orange. I will probably find another painting in this wonderful book. Or I might even use the same painting because it's a lot of orange in this painting. And do another design. I'm not sure if I'm quite satisfied with how this turns out. I don't know yet. I have to finish it to see. So, but maybe I will use the same painting and try to draw a design which I have in my head, a little different. We'll see. I don't know yet. But that's my project for the Red Week of Lent. I started last autumn to show you one of my quilts in every episode here. I was a quilter for 20, 30 years or something. I do not quilt anymore because of arthritis, but I love my quilts, and well, most of them are stored away, but it's so much fun to take them out now and to show one or several of them in every episode. Today is not actually a quilt, but it's the quilting, it's done in the quilting way. It's hard to see because I have some huge windows in front of me here. There you see the windows. But here you can see. I have, with paper piecing on the machine, made crayons. And I have just framed it. Here you see Britta Arnhild, 94. So it was made 25 years ago. It's half finished only, and it's not something I'm very proud of. I would have made some differences, but it's a funny piece, I think. So I will hang it somewhere, maybe. But what I also did in the last previous episode was to show you parts of my, or I started last week, so it was only a small part of my textile and fiber collection. I'm a collector. I love to collect, and I have a lot of collections. And last week you saw some pieces of fabric, crochet and lace from India. Today I have something from Sweden. But before I show it to you, I have to tell you a kind of funny story. Because 2 or 3 weeks ago, I started to watch a new podcast, The Last Homely House. Maybe it's something longer, but it's The Last Homely House something. It's British Kate, who has a very lovely place on YouTube. I will put a link down below here. So I have seen her newest episodes. I have become a patron, so I can see all the extra episodes she gives to her patrons. And I'm slowly working my way down backwards to watch her older episodes. And there are many. There are hundreds of them. So, but I do it slowly, 1, 2, 3 a week or something. And yesterday I was watching an episode from, I think it was October. And Kate had been up in her attic and she had found an old suitcase. She knew what was inside, but she hadn't opened the suitcase in 20 years or something. And now she wanted to open it together with us, which she did. And it was filled with old tablecloths, handkerchiefs, napkins, everything, almost everything handmade. So many beautiful pieces, but they had stains, they were worn, they had holes and so on. But still, it was so lovely to see. And I thought it's kind of funny because then a week before I had just started to show here in my on my YouTube channel parts of my textile collection. So today I'm going to take you to Sweden, to a small town called Vadstena, the home of Santa Birgitta, Santa Bridget maybe in English. Santa Birgitta is her English name. A Swedish saint, maybe the most known Swedish saint. Many years ago I went to Vadstena, it's south in Sweden, together with my colleagues. We went there to learn more about Saint Birgitta, to do a pilgrimage, to go to the pilgrim center and have a lot of talks and so on. But we also had some time off, and I walked in the small town and I found that it was well known for its lace. Spetsar, as it's called in Swedish, kniplinger in Norwegian. Here I have some information from the shop I visited. Elsa Petersson's Spetsaffair lace shop. Elsa Petersson's lace shop. And I still have the small paper bag where I keep what I bought that day. It's from the shop. I have information about the shop and about the lace done in Vadstena and a map to the shop. I have 3 postcards, old photos of women doing lace. I love to collect things like this. And then the gem, of course. 2 envelopes with fabric, lace fabric inside. Let me show you this one first. The envelopes are to be opened like this. And in here is the most beautiful handkerchief. I use fabric handkerchiefs every day. Oh, that's the back side. But of course I have never used this one. Can you see the beauty of the lace border? So that's the handkerchief. I have to put it carefully away inside the envelope. And then the second envelope here with the most beautiful bookmark, hand-laced in Vadstena. Isn't it beautiful? I have collected lace from other places in the world as well. Among them from Burano, the island in Venice, the colorful island. And I took some filming there, so I have a film from the autumn of 2019, I think. But it was a period when I made only Norwegian episodes here. but maybe if I find the footage I took, I might share it here someday. Well, I think that's about almost everything for today. In the end, you will have some nature film again. Yesterday I was down by the river, not far from us, and the swans had come back. I haven't seen them in several months. On Sunday I saw 18 of them. Yesterday there were 17. So I don't know how many there are all in all. So I took some footage, and I also have some other footage of winter nature. And again, my mother's piano music. As I already told you, deilig er jorden. Beautiful is the world, it means. Lovely is the world. So enjoy, and please comment if you have anything to share, or just say hello. Press the like button, subscribe. I love that. And I will see you next week. Bye!